Life as We Know It with Tom Walton.
Some bad news arrived on my telephone answering machine a few weeks ago. I'm being sued, the caller said, by the United States Internal Revenue Service. Evidently, every last one of my fellow citizens, you included, is out to get me. Nothing personal, of course. I'll bet you weren't even aware you're suing me. On the other hand, if you were aware, you were no longer my friend. No mention was made in the phone call of my alleged misdeed. Hardly surprising, since there was no misdeed to allege. I always pay my taxes on time and in full. But my caller insists that the United States is miffed that I have not responded to what she said have been repeated attempts over the past 6 months to reach me and resolve the matter. I will be charged with fraud, she said, unless I call right away and clear this up. I didn't call. I didn't go to jail. Although I will admit that for a few days, I was very suspicious of any noise at the front door. Was that a process server? A SWAT team? Is that tear gas or just the dog? My caller ID says the call came from Arizona. I only know one person in Arizona, and although he's a bit of a practical joker, he's never threatened to lock me up. In fact, my Arizona caller wasn't a human at all, and I'm pretty sure she wasn't calling me from the Sonoran Desert. It was a computer-generated voice done really badly. The emphasis was often on the wrong syllables. The voice frequently paused at the wrong time between syllables before continuing. A day later, I got the same call again in the same broken computer English, and a third time the day after that, probably to firmly establish in my mind that I am now an enemy of the people. The phone number at the end of the message was difficult to decipher. People without caller ID would have been hard-pressed to return the call. Lucky them. Nothing good is going to come from calling these soulless dolts back, but evidently enough people do, so these fishing expeditions continue. It also seems that no matter how many times the public is warned, no matter how often the most gullible and trusting among us are taken in, we never learn. A lawsuit is serious business, of course, and most people would be frightened by such a call in a litigious society that sues first and asks questions later. That fear is what these con jobs are counting on. Just as greed entices the unwary with promises of wealth, do you remember the millions of dollars waiting for you in Nigeria? The fear of losing everything you have or running afoul of the government can produce serious financial consequences if you fall for it. For Dick Epstein, president of the Toledo Better Business Bureau, my experience sounded all too familiar. This is a terrific problem, Mr. Epstein says, that seems to get even more serious around tax time. What's important to remember is that the IRS doesn't operate that way. Say what you will about the federal tax man, but if he has an issue with you, you'll hear about it by mail, not by phone. The tip-off, according to Mr. Epstein, is that the scammers want you to settle your debt to the U.S. immediately. They want your money right now. Not next week, not tomorrow, now. Or they may instruct you to buy gift cards at the grocery store and send them in. Don't do it. Settling a tax debt with iTunes gift cards? I don't think so. Unfortunately, this is the real world we live in these days. Dr. Seuss, way back when, could have had a lot of fun with it. Scam I am. Trouble is, it's not funny.
Life as We Know It is written and hosted by Tom Walton and is a production of WGTE Public Media. Life as We Know It with Tom Walton can be heard on WGTE FM 91 every Monday afternoon during All Things Considered at 5:44 p.m. Or hear past episodes at wgte.org/life.